One thing, though, I'm sensing a pattern. They're all starting off with their name and what they'll be performing. I know Yuri said she's quite nervous about this. Maybe I can say something to help before Monica announces her? Besides, I think she knows she's up next anyways. Looking over to Yuri and making sure she's done clapping, I smile as I quickly take her hand in mine to grab her attention and give a brief yet firm squeeze. That seemed to do the trick. He'll do just fine, I'm sure of it. As I slowly retract my hand from hers, all she does is give me a gentle smile. The sound of Monica saying Yuri caught both of our attention, as if we both drowned her out or something. That's when Yuri leaves her seat and apprehensively approaches the podium.
Hello? I'm Yuri, and I'd like to share my reading with everyone.
Before she starts reading, she does what I think is a quick look around the room. As her eyes land on me, I make sure to give her a smile to offer some kind of reassurance to her. She then looks back to her paper and begins reading. Her apprehensiveness seems to disappear after a little while. Her voice and her words sound as lovely as it always does, and I can't help but put on a dumb smile while I'm listening. It feels like I've helped her put effort into this somehow.
A ghost's companion. The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow, bathing. In the distance, a blue-green light flickers. A lone figure skips under the streetlights, avoiding the eerie darkness that surrounds us. My heart is curious. Is he one of the same? A being with a vibrant orange glow, electricity in his veins. Yet there's a different aura that reigns within him. I can't help but feel some connection between us. A tenacious wind blows, which causes him to fall. He stops under my streetlight. The light flickers. An air of melancholy surrounds both him and I. He says, I'm sad, somehow without any words. Sympathy now festers and grows in my soul. My heart pounds as I offer a helping hand. His hand in mine, this extreme sensation, he approaches and embraces with starscapes in his eyes. Never in life would I imagine the possibility of a ghost feeling warmth. Surreal, vivid, serendipitous, imperative, that which describes our promise to help each other. When disaster strikes and all seems gloomy, don't cry, I'll be there. And our hearts were never apart. If you're with me, then everything's alright.
And I thought Sayori's was good. That was amazing! If I didn't clap for that, I wouldn't be able to live with myself. I can't help but endlessly smile as she makes her way back to her seat. Monica steps on stage once again.
And now, last but not least, we have our newest member, Hallie.
Welp, let's get this over with. Breathing in and out while approaching the podium, my heart begins to pound more intensely over the moment I'm in and the silence in the room. I'm frozen in place for a little longer than I'd like to be. It's okay, let's get this done. For the club's sake. Not... You've forgotten an apostrophe, to make you happy. Hi everyone. I'm Hallie, and I, too, wrote about someone who, as of... No, don't say yesterday! Recently, has become important to me. Taking a moment to breathe in and out again, I start reading in front of everyone. It starts out a little bit rough, as another process in my mind is taking full note of how fast my heart is beating, which makes it difficult to focus. But after a while, things start to become a little more natural, as I have a certain someone to impress. Our castle walls. I am a collection of characteristics, both physical and mental. That makes me completely unique, and I realize that not everyone who crosses my path will be interested in what I have to offer. But my strength comes from the belief that someone, somewhere, can and will appreciate me for what I am. Within the walls of my mind, stay away repeats itself alongside other means of survival. Choose your friends wisely. Wise words from those far away. I think I've done just that. There's a special someone out there that I'm glad to call my friend. They're kind, they're smart, they have a heart of pure gold. I winked, she's thunderful, but I can't say it very well. Okay. I didn't know her, but she smiled, and from her smile, a warmth seeped deep inside me. I knew no words that I could say, yet I think I understood, and on that serendipitous October night, she had given more than most ever could. When life gets tough, both by people and the mind, when nothing makes sense and I'm all by myself, you're there with an embrace, a place to retreat. It's like I've found new walls to reside in. Your gentleness is quite magical. I don't ever want to let go. Any troubles you have, I'll be here time and through. A shoulder to lean on, a guardian standing strong. I know I don't deserve a treasure like you, but please let me be the one you'll seek out first. Two different people, side by side, will venture on. Even if the journey gets a little bumpy, we'll be safe in our castle walls. Once I'm done reading, I look up to everyone and give a small smile. Thank you. The whole classroom claps for one last time, and I could have sworn I heard a few awes in there somewhere. That response alone makes me instinctively turn my head away from everyone and quickly make my way back to where I was sitting earlier. Monica approaches the podium one last time.
Well, what a way to finish. I just want to say thank you to everyone who made this possible, and thank you everyone for stopping by today. I hope you'll consider joining this club and be the rest of the festival events.
Well, everything actually turned out pretty okay. People have already started to get up and leave by the time Monica was almost done speaking. Now that the lack of people in the room brings back some sense of normalcy, thoughts begin to fill my mind as I stare blankly at one of the walls. All the cupcakes are gone, no surprise there. Some of the pamphlets are scattered on the floor, but somehow the decorations remain untouched. Who's going to take care of everything? Wouldn't that be mine and Yuri's responsibility? But me and her are supposed to hang out after this. You can hang out taking you about the clubroom. I know who to bug about this. Bringing myself back to reality, I walk over to Monica to see that Yuri's already talking with her. Now I'm even more curious. Once I approach them, I decide to keep my mouth shut and listen in on what they say, hoping that they'll notice my presence without me having to say anything. This doesn't last for long, however, as Yuri seems to be to notice right away and looks away while lightly blushing.
Oh, Hallie. We were just talking about you.
You were?
Well, sort of. You don't have to worry about taking care of the decorations. We'll keep the banner in the closet for it to stay. How does that sound?
Did she read my mind? Nah, Yuri probably beat me to it or something. It's too bad we can't just keep the banner hung up for the rest of the year. This classroom does get used to during the day. Either way, very cool. I like that.
Good.
Leaning down to give me that one look of hers replaces the relief inside me with curiosity.
You two can enjoy the rest of the festival now. The both of you deserve it.
Don't Sayori and Natsuki deserve it too? Ah, never mind. Studying Yuri's expression shows the same apprehensive face from earlier. I thought she'd be happier once this is all over. I wonder what she's thinking of. Shall we?
Yes, please.
With my smile becoming a bit bigger, I approach her side as we walk out of the clubroom together. Stepping outside the clubroom as students pass by us, both me and Yuri stop just outside the door with her expression remaining the same. I can't help but breathe a sigh of relief now that performing is all over. We did it, Yuri. We did the thing. She seems to lighten up a bit.
I don't think I've ever agreed with a colloquialism this much in my life.
I'd say everyone did pretty well today.
Me too.
An unexpected silence that makes me feel unsure about everything fills the air, until Yuri breaks said silence.
Hallie, please listen to me real quick.
Uh-oh. I don't like the sound of this for whatever reason. Is something wrong?
No, nothing is wrong, just... Would it be too much to ask if we were to visit the library first?
The library? Is there a special event going on in there? I don't remember the fortune teller being there last year. I mean, I wasn't expecting this, but I'm not opposed to it. Something going on there?
Well, no, but after what we just went through, I don't feel up to being around a lot of people right now. I'd much prefer to read your books some more until I feel ready enough. I hope you understand.
She didn't judge me at all over the whole cupcake debacle, so it would be very mean of me if I were to say, no, let's go outside right now. With a smile on my face, I step closer to her and grab her hand until our fingers mesh. I do. This is our first date, after all, so that includes stuff you want to do. Besides, we're at a good spot in my book anyways. Her usual smile brightens the mood.
Thank you. I'll lead the way.
While I'm happily following her to the library, I can't help but realize that I don't quite remember where it is. It'd be kind of embarrassing if I were to say that to Yuri, so maybe I'll just keep my mouth shut. Okay, finally at the library. It's much more quiet in here compared to out in the halls, and the lack of students in here makes things all the better. It's been way too long since I was last here. With today being the festival and all, I'm surprised that this place is still open, taking into account that there's no events going on here. Maybe the principal is overlooking everything that happens in here today. It doesn't matter to me either way. With our hands still together, Yuri guides me over to one of the vacant tables, which would be all of them, After we take a seat, she pulls my book out of her bag and we resume our reading position. So this is how our date starts, huh? Not complaining. We going back in the Jungle Book. 30 minutes later. Apparently not. Not gonna lie, that was a great idea. Me and her made considerable progress and we're actually pretty close to the end of the story. Granted, the whole battle sequence with chaos in my story was exciting and all. I had to remind myself to not get so worked up during. Yuri's hand breaks away from mine as she reaches over to close the book.
I think we should call it here for now.
I nod at her as she puts my book away in her bag. Yeah, definitely. I forgot how exciting that part was. It is now that I realize I'm supposed to keep my voice down in the library, but Yuri doesn't seem to care.
I'll admit, that was quite fun to read. Although I don't quite understand how they were able to find barrels of TNT on the island. Nonetheless, I'll add that to my list of best action sequences that I've ever read.
This girl's way too cute. I love it. Nice. By the way, how are you feeling? She seems to be overthinking again.
Much better now. How about...
The sound of my stomach interrupts her. Not cool. I look towards the ground, slightly embarrassed. I think that answered it for you. Yuri giggles to herself.
Well, that settles it. Shall we get going?
I happily approach her, take her hand in mine, and look at her. Let's do this! Excitement slowly builds in me as we step outside of the library. Back in the hallway, there aren't as many students as there were before. Maybe they've all gone to check out the events outside or something. That's exactly where me and Yuri are headed. Walking down the school halls with Yuri like this has a rather different feel to it, but it's not unwelcome by any means. As we walk past the door to our club room, my ears manage to pick up on the sound of a door opening behind us, to which I instinctively turn my head towards the sound. And sure enough, Sayori is shown walking out the door. The look on her face as she sees the both of us sends me into slight panic. Oh god, no, she knows now! But of all the things she could possibly do, she gives me a bright, friendly smile as if she's saying, way to go. With that running through my mind, I genuinely smile back at her and look back over to Yuri, who I'm guessing didn't notice Sayori at all. We're almost to the school entrance, just a flight of stairs to go and we'll be outside. The excitement in me is steady. Now that I think about it, I don't really know what exactly me and Yuri are going to do, or what she would be up to. Would be up to wanting to do. There you are. Is it Wallace? There you are, just the person I was looking for. Me and Yuri stop in our tracks at the sound of a deep voice I don't hear around here too often. A deep voice, you say? Oh, as our hands return to ourselves, both of us turn around to see the principal, who has the same silhouette as Dwight. He's much taller than most of us, in his mid-40s, a receding hairline, and a cigar on him at all times. What could he possibly want? As he approaches us, all the excitement in my body starts fading away, but I'm somehow able to not let it ruin my mood. How on earth is a school principal allowed to walk around with a cigar? Hi there. His somewhat serious expression never changes. Yes, hello. I would like to have a word with you for a moment. An uncomfortable silence plays out as he directs his vision towards Yuri and squints his eyes. In private. His tone of voice makes her immediately look away from him. It made me feel a bit uncomfortable too, which was a little uncalled for. But what could be so important to resort to that? Before I comply with what he wants, I shift my head slightly towards Yuri. I'll be right back. She doesn't react at all. She just stays in place. Let's get this over with. Walking up and approaching the principal, he turns away from Yuri, and we walk in silence to the principal's office. The whole time my mind is racing, mainly about whether Yuri will be alright and what he could possibly want to talk to about. It doesn't take too long for us to get there. Once we're inside, we both take a seat, and I can't help but get distracted by all the papers and whatever on the wall. My eyes land on the list of top 50 students that gets updated every month. No surprise that Monica would be number 1 on the list. Oh yeah, where does Yuri stand on there? Let me see. 3, 4, 5. My attention snaps directly to him, as I anticipate what he wants to talk about. So first off, how has this school year been treating you? I hesitate and think before I speak up, mainly out of nervousness. Well, everything's going okay so far. Besides some people being not very nice to me, and I don't know how he'd react if I were to say girlfriend. Best friend? I don't really have any other complaints. Oh there, my boy. Don't feel that you have to hide anything from me. I've seen how you were with that girl earlier. His tone is still rather powerful, but it's surprisingly calm enough to where I don't feel too upset. I'm guessing that means he knows about me and Yuri.
Besides that, though, you were talking about my son, Wallace, is that right?
Oh yeah, I completely forgot he was his dad. But for whatever reason, I still have it in me to make eye contact with him. Yes, him.
Well, I want you to know that I had a word with him a few days ago about his recent behavior.
Good. It's about time. His tone of voice seems to lighten up a little bit.
I want you to tell me if he ever does anything to you again. Can you do that?
I mean, it's nice that he's looking out for me, but why didn't he mention Yuri as well? And what was with his tone of voice earlier today? Maybe I'll worry about that later. I look up to him as he lights his cigar and nod at him, but not as enthusiastically as I normally do. Understood. I mean, yes, He laughs to himself and blows out a puff of smoke while I look away in embarrassment.
You're fine, my boy. Now, is there anything else that's bothering you recently?
Somehow my mood has gone upwards a bit, thanks to him being a bit more relaxed. Also, the smell of the room doesn't agitate me, so that helps too. Wouldn't it smell like cigar smoke? I'm able to look straight at him now. No, not that I can think of. Classes are going okay, and I've made a few new friends, so I'd say that's pretty good. He flicks his cigar in a nearby ashtray as a small smile makes an appearance.
Good, good. I believe our time here is done. You may leave now.
A small wave of relief washes over me as I get up from my seat and slightly bow to him. Okay, thank you. As I turn and head towards the door, he speaks up again with his authoritative tone.
Oh, and one more thing.
Immediately stopping in my tracks and turning around to face him brings curiosity. My arms instantly go behind my back. Yes? His smile from earlier makes a return as he picks up his briefcase. I didn't even know he had.
Don't forget that there will be a fireworks show tonight.
Oh yeah, that's something I missed out on last year. I know what I'm doing tonight. Thanks for telling me. On the walk back to where me and Yuri were, my mind ran with excitement about what's going to happen later when we're outside, and also about the last time I stayed at school this long. Getting closer and closer to where we were, my excitement slowly becomes replaced with worry as I don't see Yuri anywhere. She's just not there. I'm stuck in place by the flight of stairs, considering where she could be. What do? Do I just stay here and wait for her? Is this setting up for another fake out, or is it actually bad this time? Should I try looking for her outside? Is she in my classroom? Why would she be...
Holly.
Huh? Yuri? Quickly turning around shows her walking towards me, to which I breathe a sigh of relief.
So sorry if I startled you just now. I was in the restroom.
At least she's safe. That's okay. Ready to head outside now? Her lovable smile makes an appearance.
Let's get going.
The moment that me and Yuri step out of the school building and into the fresh air is when we're greeted by the rays of light that shine from the setting sun. It has a very welcoming feel to it, and the breeze is just as calm as it was earlier today. Absolutely perfect. The number of students outside now isn't as many as I thought there would be. I guess that's what spending time in the library does. There are still some stand-ups that I wouldn't mind checking out. Or stands up, rather, is what that said. My god. The fresh air makes me feel more alive inside, as the two of us inspect everything that's happening outside. So, Yuri, is there anything in particular you'd like to check out? She takes a moment to think, like she usually does before speaking up.
Well, no, not really. I guess just spending time with each other sounds nice.
She looks away, a bit embarrassed.
Isn't that how dates work?
She's so silly, I like it. Sure. Wanna walk around for a bit then?
Yes, let's.
Before we begin walking, two students in particular catch my eye over by one of the stands, which makes me concerned. Wait, hang on. See those two over there? I point to the two of them so that she can see. That's Jason and Kyle, two of Wallace's dumb idiot friends. They're so dumb that I don't even put an apostrophe in there. Let's try to avoid them as much as possible.
Oh, okay then.
So wait, didn't Wallace also have red eyes? Does that mean you guys are just like a trio of red-eyed troublemaker MCs? With that, we both depart from the school entrance to wander around the school courtyard with no real destination in mind.